Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we are going to talk about how to use Scratch. We're going to, explore the interface here and kind of discuss exactly what this does and how to use it properly. In the course of this video, we are actually going to develop our first Scratch program, and I will explore how to turn in your assignments in this second term. Okay, first thing I want to make sure that I've done is I've signed into my account here. Mr. Storm UMA, that is my account. I'm signed in. If I click the folder button there, that will take me to all of my Scratch projects that I have, but I actually don't want to do that because this is the environment I want to be in right now. The first thing you want to do when starting a new project in Scratch is you want to actually rename the project. You don't want your projects to be continuously named Untitled, Untitled 2, Untitled 3, Untitled 4. It's going to be difficult to figure out which project you're looking for if they're all named Untitled, right? So we're going to rename this, and I'm going to name this My First Program, just because it's a bit easy to remember what this is. Okay. So now this is my first program on Scratch. So if we take a look at the My First Program assignment, this says we need at least one sprite that activates when the green flag is clicked. We need at least one say block or think block, and we need code comments. Wow, couldn't get that out. Code comments that explain our program, and we need at least one other modification. So movement, change the background, sound, etc. Okay. So by default, whenever we open up a new program in Scratch, the sprite that shows up is this Scratch the Cat sprite. This is the default sprite that shows up. We can make Scratch the Cat do something by giving it some instructions. Up here, this green flag will allow us to start the program. That will execute the program. Now, if I click the flag, nothing happens because we haven't told Scratch the Cat to do anything. Okay, so this is what the program will look like when it's executing. In this view, right here, this is where we will drag our code blocks to make Scratch the Cat do something. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but you can tell right up here in the corner, it has the sprite that we're actually adding code to. It's important to remember that if we add more sprites to our program, then we are going to have different code that will be executed on those different sprites. And you'll see how that works as we get more advanced into Scratch. Over here on the left, we have a bunch of code. These are code blocks that whenever you drag them out, you can click them together and make the program do something. For example, I'm going to click on events here, because I want an event that will trigger something happening in my game. I'm going to bring out this when the green flag is clicked block. I'm going to bring that out. I'm actually going to zoom in a bit. So when the green flag is clicked, I want to do something. And I think the thing I want my cat here to do, Scratch the Cat, what I want him to do is I want him to say, hey, how you doing? So let's see. The way I would change that is if I go to looks, I have a bunch of options here. I have say hello for 2 seconds. That will put some text on the screen for 2 seconds. I can also say hello. Notice there's no for 2 seconds back there. That means this just will put the words hello on the screen and it'll stay there. I can think for 2 seconds or think Now think and say, they're different, right? If I used say hello for 2 seconds and I use think for 2 seconds, let's check out the difference between them. So I'm going to click on the green flag, and I'm actually going to maximize the window here so we can really see what happens. So I'm going to click on the green flag. Notice it says hello, and then it says Now the difference between the hello and the is one looks like a speech bubble and one looks like a thought bubble, like in comic books whenever we, have a think bubble and a thought bubble, or a speech bubble and a thought bubble. That's the difference between say and think. Now let's say I don't want to use think anymore. I want to get rid of it. Well, I can just grab it and just drag it back over to here to get rid of it. And now it's gone. Okay, so let's see. Can I do more with my cat than just making him say stuff? Well, I can do all kinds of stuff. I can make him meow. Let's start sound meow. Okay. Let's do that. Hello? Oh, wow. That was a very loud meow. So I can make him meow. I can, let's see. Let's see if I can move him. Can we move him 10 steps? Hello? And then he moves just a little bit. Well, maybe I want him to move a little bit faster or farther. Maybe I don't want him to move 10 steps. In here, I can actually change the amount of steps that he moves. Let's say I want him to move 50 steps. Well, let's see what happens there. Ah, there you go. He moved a lot farther. Okay, that makes sense. Now, maybe if I keep moving him, then he's going to just end up off the screen at some point. Notice how he's not resetting back to his original position. And eventually he's going to make it all the way off the screen. That's because every time I execute the code, it's just going to execute the code that's in here, and it's not going to reset my position unless I tell it to. So anytime we use move blocks, we probably want to reset our position at the beginning of our program. So what we can do is we can use this go to block. Now go to will allow you to indicate that I want to move to a specific place in my program. Now this stage here, this is what it's called, the stage. The stage is based off of the X and Y values. X is horizontal, so X horizontal, and Y is vertical. So X is left and right, Y is up and down. Now if I set it to go to 0 on the X and 0 on the Y, then it will go directly into the middle of the screen when I run my game. Now notice that these blocks aren't attached to the when flag is clicked. That's because when that happens, this code won't run. It'll only run the code that's directly connected to that event. So if I click that, notice that he goes back to the middle, but he doesn't say hello for 2 seconds and he doesn't move 50 steps. So let's click those back in and let's actually run our code and see what happens. Hello, and then he moves. Now if I run the code again, notice he'll move back to 0, 0 and then run the code. So he moved back, says hello, then he moves 50 steps. That's really as easy as it is. I mean, really, we're programming. We're doing all kinds of crazy stuff already, just by bringing in these blocks and, kind of experimenting with them to see what happens. So let's try this. Hello. He moves and then he disappears. If I play it again, he comes back because I used a show block. All right. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to experiment with these blocks. I want you to figure out what each of these does. Give it a shot, try it out, see if you can remember how to make, or see if you can figure out how to make something look really cool. And just play around with it, right? So I'm going to try this. Uh-oh. The last time I executed the code, I had that show block and then the hide block. But the hide block, I need to bring a show block back in. So hello, and then he rotates and moves and rotates. Hello, then he moves and rotates. So, I'm just messing around with it. You guys can absolutely play around with this, try to make something, cool. It's completely up to you what you make. And I'm just playing around at this point. Huh, that's cool. So yeah, experiment, play around with it, see what you come up with. Now, when you're done, when you finally build a program that you're really excited about, or something that you just need to turn in by the end of the week, because again, all I ask for is one sprite that activates when the green flag is clicked, which we have. It activates when the green flag is clicked. At least one say or think block, which I have. Code comments that explain the program. That we haven't done. And then modifications. Movement, background, stuff like that. I'm actually going to get rid of this turning. Now, I want to create a comment. So the code comments section. Comments in programming allow you to essentially just tell somebody who's looking at your code what it does, but it doesn't show up when you run the program, okay? So to create a code comment here, I'm going to right-click or Alt-click if you're using a Chromebook. I'm going to right-click and click Add Comment. Now this comment, basically I can just type whatever I'm saying here. So this is, let's say, when the green flag is clicked, say hello, then move forward 50 steps. So I'm basically just explaining what my code is supposed to be doing. Now there are a number of reasons why we use code comments. One is because I want you to explain to me what this code block is supposed to be doing, so that if I'm looking at your program or someone else is looking at your program, we can logically figure out what you're going for. Now, if you turn this in and your code comments say that something's going to happen, but I look at the block that those comments are attached to, and that's not what it's supposed to do, then that tells me, oh, maybe you might misunderstand what these blocks are supposed to do, and it communicates to me that I need to help you out with those blocks specifically. So I want code comments for every section of blocks in all of your projects from now on, okay? I want you to explain to me what your program is doing, or at least what you think it should be doing, so that way I can help understand your thinking and your reasoning when you're creating your programs. Okay, so now I have my project completely finished. Now I need to figure out how to turn this thing in. So what I want to do is I'm going to come up here to this orange button called Share. And when I click Share, it's going to bring me to this page. This page will allow me to run my program, see what happens. It'll allow me to give instructions to the user, such as, click the green flag, right? That will tell me what I'm supposed to do in order to get this to run. I can also put in notes and credits. I'm going to say made by Mr. Storm. It could be whatever you want it to be. I can also jump into the program if I want. I can turn on and off comments for my program. So if you create this program, it's going to be live. This program will be live. People will be able to see it. And you never know, random people might stumble upon it and leave a comment for you. You can turn that on or off if you want. So you can turn off commenting so that people can't make comments on your code. I would recommend it just because you never know, kind of weirdos live on the internet. Let's see. Down here, what we're looking for is copy link. This is how you're going to submit your work. I'm going to click copy link, and that's going to give me a link and an embed code. What we want is the link. So we can just click copy link here. And when we come over to this assignment, we can actually click submit. I'm in the teacher view, so I don't have submit. But for you, you can submit your work, click the website URL, submission type, and then paste in that share code. And that is you turning in your program. Okay, that was a lot, but hopefully you have fun with Scratch. Hopefully this is something you're into, something that you're excited about. And in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna really expand on this idea and make some really cool stuff. I'm super excited about what we put together, and I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. All right. That's it for me. Please let me know if you have any questions or need any help, and I'll see you next week.